Imagine this, a story hidden so deep in the Bible that even the boldest preachers rarely dare to touch it. A story of human women who fell in love with angels, beings of light and glory, and paid a price so heavy it still echoes through time. This isn't just a tale of fallen angels or monstrous giants. It's about women who loved too fiercely, who chased the divine and got caught in a cosmic war. And when it all came crashing down, they were left to carry the weight of heaven's wrath and earth's scorn. What happened to them? What did heaven do next? And could their story still be whispering truths about the world we live in today? Let us dive into this ancient mystery and uncover a story that will grip your heart and shake your soul. Picture a quiet village just before dawn. A young woman sits by a river, her hands trembling, her eyes locked on the stars. She's not praying, she's remembering. She remembers him. Not a man, but a being who stepped out of the heavens, his presence like fire and shadow woven together. His eyes burned with the light of 1,000 stars, his voice like a river crashing over stones. When he said her name, it felt like she was created just to hear it. Can you imagine that moment? A being so glorious, so otherworldly, choosing you. Would you have turned away? Would you have said no to a love that felt like it could rewrite the stars? This is where the story begins, not with war or judgment, but with desire, maybe even love. These women, ordinary daughters of the earth, were swept into the arms of angels, the Watchers, beings tasked with guarding humanity but who fell for its beauty instead. They didn't just visit in secret, they married these women, built homes, and raised children. Some of these angels loved with a sincerity that feels almost human, but heaven didn't approve, not even close. These unions were forbidden, a defiance of divine order, and they set off a chain reaction that would shake the foundations of the world. Now let's pause. Can you feel the weight of their choice? These women weren't villains. They weren't seductresses or pawns of evil. They were human, fragile, curious, maybe a little reckless. They saw glory and reached for it, not knowing their love would stitch a curse into the earth itself. Their children, the Nephilim, were no ordinary offspring. They were giants, not just in size, but in hunger, in violence. Their very existence was a spiritual wound, spreading chaos across the land. And when God looked down, he didn't just see rebellion, he saw a world unraveling. Here's where it gets intense. Heaven didn't send a gentle messenger to fix this mess. It sent Michael, the Archangel, a warrior of light whose very presence could make mountains tremble. But Michael didn't come to slay, at least not at first. He came with a decree. Everything born of these forbidden unions, every child, every trace of this unholy bloodline, had to be erased. Imagine a mother clutching her Nephilim son, his oversized frame still small in her arms. She pleads with Michael, tears streaming, voice breaking. But Michael doesn't waver. He's not just an angel, he's a weapon of divine will. Yet, here's the twist no one talks about. The women were not destroyed like their children. They were spared, left to grieve, to carry the guilt of a world undone. Why would God let them live? Why let them bear that pain? That's the question that haunts me. Some say it wasn't punishment, but correction. These women weren't wiped out like the giants or chained like the angels. They were marked, watched, separated from the world they'd broken. And Michael, he stayed behind long after the Watchers were bound because the story wasn't over. The flood was coming, but even that wouldn't wash away everything. Let's step into the scene. The air is thick, the wind holding its breath. The women, wives of the Watchers, sense something's wrong. For years they lived in a strange peace, hidden in valleys, shielded by their angelic husbands. Their sons, the Nephilim, built kingdoms, carved mountains into thrones, and were worshipped as gods. The women themselves were seen as queens, mothers of a new race. But heaven was watching, and it wasn't pleased. When judgment came, it wasn't a whisper, it was a roar. The flood wasn't just water, it was divine fury, a cleansing so fierce it felt like the heart of God was breaking. Picture a woman, let's call her Adira, standing on a cliff, her Nephilim son clinging to her. The ground trembles, the sky darkens, and a wave taller than the tallest trees rushes toward them. Her husband, the angel who once glowed like starlight, is gone, chained in darkness by Michael's hand. She hopes he'll return, but all she sees is the flood, swallowing everything she loves. Michael stands nearby, not cruel, not cold, but resolute. His task isn't just to fight, it's to witness the cost of rebellion. The giants drown, their roars fading into the water. The angels are bound, their light extinguished. But the women, they live. They watch their children perish, their homes vanish, their love turn to ash. And that, my friends, is a weight heavier than death. Have you ever made a choice you couldn't undo? A decision that didn't just break your heart but changed everything around you? That's what these women carried. They weren't just survivors. They were remnants of a forbidden love marked by heaven's gaze. And Michael didn't leave. He stayed to deal with what lingered, a spark of the forbidden that the flood couldn't erase. Some say the blood of the angels altered these women, left a spiritual residue in their veins. Their daughters and their daughters' daughters carried it too, a mark that wasn't just physical, but eternal. Now, let's dig deeper. The floodwaters receded, the earth dried, and the world tried to start over. But heaven knew better. Evil doesn't always drown. Sometimes it hides in blood, in memories, in whispers passed down through generations. His mission wasn't to kill these women, but to confront what they carried. Some, like Adira, were broken, their prayers a silent scream. God, I didn't know. I didn't understand. Michael listened, not because he was soft, but because he was just. For those who repented, he placed a spiritual seal, a cosmic scar that marked them as untouchable by both heaven and hell. They became a living warning, a testament to what happens when you chase forbidden glory. But not all the women were like Adira. Some tasted power and craved more. Even without their angelic husbands, they whispered the old secrets, sorcery, enchantments, forbidden knowledge taught by the Watchers. They became the roots of ancient occult practices, keepers of arts that still linger in the shadows. Michael hunted them, not with hatred, but with urgency. These weren't just women anymore. They were vessels of contamination, and if left unchecked, their influence would spark rebellion again. His task was clear: redeem the repentant, silence the defiant, cleanse the bloodlines where evil hid. Can you feel the tension? Judgment that's holy yet heartbreaking. Michael walked with fire in his steps, speaking in winds, moving unseen. Entire villages fell silent under his presence, not because he destroyed them, but because he carried the weight of heaven's will. And here's where the story twists again. Imagine a young girl, barely 16, born long after the flood. She never met her angelic father, but she dreams of flying, of fire, of languages no one taught her. She bends metal with a glance, sees visions of things yet to come. Voices call her daughter of the ancient. She's carrying something her mother didn't mean to pass down. A mark, a spiritual echo of a forbidden union. Michael sees it, and to him, it's not just a girl. It's a crack in the wall between worlds. This wasn't just about bloodlines, it was about what those bloodlines could unleash. Some of these women believed their children were chosen, blessed by the divine. They didn't see the curse, the poison woven into their beauty. Michael knew better. He marked their descendants, not to destroy them, but to ensure heaven could track the ancient fire. Some ancient texts suggest this mark lingered through generations, maybe even into the time of Abraham or Moses. Could that explain why God was so strict about Israel's bloodlines? Why entire nations were sometimes erased, not just for their actions, but for what lived in their spiritual DNA? Now let's bring it home. Look around you today. Do you see it? People chasing lights they don't understand, drawn to powers they can't explain. Children born with gifts that feel too big for this world. Bloodlines marked by chaos, tragedy, or strange abilities. Occult practices dressed up as culture or spirituality. Could it be that we're still carrying echoes of what those women unleashed? Are we still walking in the aftermath of their choices? And more chillingly, is Michael still watching? This story doesn't end in the pages of Genesis or the ancient texts of Enoch. It's alive, breathing in the patterns of our world. The Bible isn't just a history book, it's a map of spiritual battles that keep unfolding. Think about your own life, those struggles that feel too heavy, too old to be yours alone, generational cycles, addictions that cling like shadows, dreams that feel like they belong to someone else. Is it just trauma, or is something older at play? The same God who spared those women is still offering mercy today. The same angel who marked bloodlines is still moving, and the same grace that wept over those caught in divine disaster is reaching for you now. So, here's my final question. If Michael stood at your door tonight, would you be ready for what he came to do? Would you face the truth of what you carry, or would you cling to the things heaven has already condemned? This story isn't just about ancient women or fallen angels. It's about us, our choices, our battles, our chance to break the cycles that bind us. The flood may be over, but the war isn't. The question is, will you keep running toward forbidden light, or will you step into the mercy that's waiting? If this story stirred something in you, if it made you question the spiritual currents running through your life, don't walk away. Share your thoughts below. What echoes do you see in your own story? And if you want to keep diving into these hidden truths, these mysteries that connect heaven to earth, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a moment when the past speaks to the present. Stay watchful, stay ready, and let's break the cycles together.